So without wasting our time, let us go into the topic. So the third point is, so two things were explained: black body radiation, and photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect were explained using quantum theory of radiation. Quantum theory of radiation, that is electromagnetic radiation, will be emitted in the form of small packets of energy. Small packets of energy. We cannot have a continuous emission of energy. So both says the electron can move around the nucleus in any orbit. It did not specify the distance of the orbit, or it did not specify the orbit. In any orbit we can move. But what quantum theory of radiation says? No, that is not true. The energy whatever emitted is not continuous, but the particle can absorb or emit only few packets of energy called quantum. Each packet called quantum. This process, this phenomenon is known as quantum theory of radiation, and we have beautifully explained two real life scenarios like black body radiation and photoelectric effect considering quantum theory of radiation. Yes, wave theory can also explain few other phenomena. We agree with that, but using wave theory we cannot explain black body radiation as well as photoelectric effect. Today we are going to deal with the third factor, which is spectrum, which is absorption and emission spectrum of light. So how that gonna help us, this quantum theory of radiation? We say that whatever the energy emitted or absorbed can be in terms of quanta, in terms of only 1 h2 or 2 h2 or 3 h2. But what's the proof for that? What was the proof for that? So we'll discuss that. Today we are going to discuss that. What's the proof about? So let us remove this partition so we can draw a good figure. So take a prism. So now we are going to discuss about spectrum. Spectra. You can say spectra. So take a prism. Prism is taken, an incident light. Whatever the surrounding prism, whatever surrounds prism, it is made of a different medium. We have prism is made of some glass. This prism, the medium of this prism is glass, that is, it has a different refractive index from its surroundings. The surrounding, this is surrounding, you can say this as surrounding. Surrounding means which surrounds the prism, and this is our system. This is our system. So whenever you are inserting light on a particular prism, light should bend. Light should bend. It may bend. The extent of bending will be decided based on its refractive index. So what is refractive index? How we can define refractive index? All those things are your 12th standard physics. That is why the atomic chapter, whatever we say, is crude, because it includes results from 12th standard physics. Okay. So the bending of light. This is a white light. This is a white light. When you pass white light to the prism, so the white light will split into all kinds of radiation inside that prism. Inside that, this is a triangular prism. When you incident white light, the splitting of light occurs, and when you keep a screen here, all this light which will come out from the other end of the prism will be incident on the screen, and on the screen you can see all colors: V, I, B, G, Y, O, R. You can see visual of colors: UV, Then visible, this all constitutes visible, visible, and then and this was our screen. This was our screen. So dispersion of light occurs. Dispersion of light occurs. White light. Pass white light. Pass white light to a triangular prism. Then the dispersion of white light occurs, and you can see a rainbow of colors or whipjaw of colors. You can see from violet to red color. All those colors will be visible to you on the screen. This phenomenon of light is known as this phenomenon of splitting of light, I can say white light, into different colors, is called dispersion of light. Dispersion of light. The same thing, whatever the colors you are seeing on the screen, if you want to plot as a graph, take a graph. It's not like a coordinate graph. It is, you take a broad sheet. On that sheet, you will see the colors. This is known as spectrograph. Any questions? No. Yes. What is the same answer? Good. Okay. So when you take all these colors here, so we can have violet. So you can have all those colors right here. V, I, V, G, Y, O, R on the graph from here to here. So we cannot have different colored markers, and you cannot distinguish those colors quickly. So we only have a black marker. So you need to imagine. So here is a violet color, and then indigo, then again blue, and then again green, and yellow, and red, and finally orange. That means you can see from splitting of color to color. So each diagram, whatever I'm drawing here, I'm trying to distinguish between color and color. But when you see the graph, you cannot distinguish the boundary. That means when you look at these colors, the rainbow of colors will be visible to you. That is from violet to indigo, there will be a color transformation. From violet color to indigo color, indigo to blue, blue to green. Everywhere, slowly one color disappears and the other color starting appearing with brighter intensity. That means when you are actually moving from violet to indigo, the color of violet will be slowly decreasing. That is, the intensity of violet color will be decreasing gradually, and the intensity of indigo color will be increasing gradually. What do you mean by that? So if we say I have two colors, on my right hand I have yellow color, on my left hand I have pink color. There is a boundary. There is a boundary between these two colors. Right hand, some other color yellow. Left hand, some other color. Yes or no? There is a boundary. They are not attached. But when you see the graph, there is no boundary. You cannot distinguish a boundary. You cannot say, like, from this point you have blue color. From this point you have yellow color. You cannot distinguish like that. What do you mean by this? There is a continuous spectrum. I don't know. By looking at the spectrum, so when you draw all the things what you observe on the screen on a spectrograph, that is known as spectrum. Spectrum is also called a graphical analysis. Okay? When we observe the spectrum, it is continuous. Yes, we are dealing with the properties. Continuous. How we can say it is continuous? Because we are not able to distinguish the boundary. If we can distinguish the boundary, then we can say it is discontinuous. Yes, up to this point, there is some color, some kind of color, and after that point there is another color. But we cannot say that because the graph looks like that. It is a real life phenomenon. You cannot distinguish between the two colors of rainbow. When you really see a rainbow, you cannot distinguish. Where's the boundary? It's a continuous thing. Same thing. So when we observe the spectrum, it is continuous. The spectrum found to be continuous. What we are doing, we are just passing white light through a triangular prism, and dispersion of light occurs, and we have seen all these colors. Nowhere we are discussing chemistry up to now. Up to now we just discuss the phenomenon of light. Now we are going to make this concept interesting by introducing some molecules. Then we can say atomic spectra. So if I try to introduce an atom to which the white light first passes through the atom and then it passes through the prism, then we can say it is an atomic spectra. Yes or no? If I introduce like nitrogen or hydrogen atom, hydrogen gas, the white light, I will be able to pass through that gas. After that passing, then I will pass that light through prism. So just I will insert then gas here. So then what happens? What changes we may see? That things will happen. First write down all these things. First note down all these things. When we just pass white light through a triangular prism, dispersion of light occurs, and we can see we observe colors. And all those colors will be plotted in a graph, horizontal graph, you can say. That is known as a spectrograph. It is also known as spectrum. Many names. It's also known as spectrum. Spectrograph. There are many names for this particular graph. It is also known as, called as spectrum. Everything is same. Spectrum, spectrograph, just a graphical answer. Whatever you observe, the result you are seeing like a horizontal thing. Like in a particular computer, you will observe the spectrograph. When you are actually performing this experiment, the device, like you are inserting white light, right? That is your source. The whole experiment is connected to one particular laptop or computer. So in that computer, we are going to observe the changes in the colors. Okay. So write down up to now. First note down all these things. So up to now we did not introduce the concept of chemistry. We are just discussing the phenomena of light, how light spreads. Homework noted. What about others? Sampath noted. We listen very carefully because these are somewhat tricky. Noted, right, everyone? Good. Mulya Rashda, fine. Now what we are going to do? We need to keep it constant. We need to keep this constant. The same white light we are passing, before passing to the prism, what we are doing is making the light to pass through some gas. This is a gas. The only change what we are doing is the white light is not directly incidented to one side of the prism. It is not directly incidented. Before that, we are placing some gas. We don't know. So we may know what type of gas it is, or we may not know. Yes or no? If I specify that it is oxygen or hydrogen or nitrogen, then you will know. If not, you don't know that what type of gas it is. We don't know initially. But what we observe, the only change we done is we introduced one gas and passed the white light and seen all the colors. And again, what you can do, you can observe the spectrograph. So this is our spectrograph observed. White light So when you are passing some white light or gas, what is light? What is light? It's a form of energy, right? So this gas molecule will absorb some energy and it will, whatever the energy is absorbed, that will not be passed through this prism. You understand this very carefully. This gas molecule has the capacity to absorb some part of energy of this whole light, of this whole white light. The remaining part will be passed to the gas molecule. It will be just transmitted from the gas molecule. So whatever the gas molecule has absorbed energy, that will not transmit. Whatever it will not absorb, that will be transmitted. Yes or no? For example, I am inserting some 10 units of energy on this duster, and this duster absorbs 2 units of energy. The remaining 8 units will be transferred. The remaining 8 units will be transferred. Whenever some amount of energy is absorbed, it cannot be transferred. The 2 units is not transferred. Only 8 units is transferred. You understand this or not? Similarly, out of all these colors, each color is associated with a particular wavelength or not. Each color from VIBGYOR, in the visible range, we have VIBGYOR. What is the visible range? 380 nanometer to 760 nanometer. I have given you the range. Visible, IR, UV. Check your notes. I have given you the range. In the visible range, you have 380 to 760. Some people also say 400 to 700. Not at all a problem. Okay, you can say 380 to 760 or 400 to 700. Not an issue at all. But the range is like that. Some 400 to 700. In that medium, we can see color. If you go beyond that, if you exceed that range, or if you go below that range, you cannot see anything. You cannot see anything in the radiation. All those are radio waves, UV visible waves, IR waves, yes or no? Infrared, ultraviolet, radio, microwave, all those things you cannot see with your naked eye. All those things you cannot see with your naked eye. Yes or no? Visible range is just a small part of electromagnetic spectrum. So in this range also, like some 700 to 400 to 700 range also, that wavelength range also, some part of light is absorbed by these gas molecules. Some part of light, that is some wavelengths, each wavelength, you can write like this. Each wavelength, from the starting, right? When white light is allowed to pass through a gas, and then it is allowed to pass through a prism, Then the gas molecules or atoms will absorb some energy and transmit the remaining. So it will absorb some energy, the rest will be transmitted. So when gas molecule is absorbing some energy, what do you mean by energy? You can write this equation. Energy is equals to H2, that is equals to Hc by lambda. So each energy value is associated with wavelength. Yes or no? H is a constant, Planck's constant. C is also a constant. So each energy has a specific wavelength. When I say E1, energy is E1, it has wavelength lambda 1. When I say energy is E2, it will have corresponding wavelength lambda 2. Each energy is associated with specific lambda. Each wavelength is associated with specific color. Yes or no? Are you getting this or not? Are you understanding what they mean? Good. Okay, so each as electromagnetic radiation has energies, has different radiations, or you can say as electromagnetic spectrum has different radiations. So this is very important. Has different radiations. Each radiation, each radiation is associated with everyone note down parallelly. I'm dictating it, right? So as electromagnetic spectrum has different radiation, that is from radio waves or gamma waves to the other one extreme to other extreme, we have different waves. So each radiation will have particular energy. Each energy has particular wavelength. Each wavelength signifies particular color. That's what we are going right here. Is associated. Each radiation is associated with specific energies. Specific energies. And each energy is associated with particular lambda, which implies particular color. So whenever we have radiation, each part of radiation has different energy. Each energy has different wavelength, and each wavelength has a different color. That is why we are going to see all these colors. Why we are seeing all those colors? Because each color is associated with a specific wavelength. Specific wavelength. So now the interesting thing is, you see here, from violet to red color, there's a continuous distribution of color change. So now what we are seeing, we are passing through a gas, and this gas has a capacity to absorb some energy. This gas will absorb some energy. But what is the result of that? As this gas molecule is absorbing some energy, each energy is associated with different color. So in the screen, whatever the energy absorbed by the gas, that energy will not pass. So that particular color will be disturbed. So there you cannot see the color. Are you understanding or not? If you absorb some energy, if that energy is absorbed here, the same light is not passing through the prism. As energy is absorbed here, light is not passing through the prism. So in the screen you cannot see a color. In the screen you cannot see a color. So you will have violet to red color distribution, but in between that you have dark lines. In between that you have dark lines. So you can write like this. From here, from this point to this point, you have Vibja say. This is visible region. And Vibja of colors is saying from this point to this point, and there's a continuous distribution, and there's a continuous change of colors from violet to red. But we now inserted a gas, and that gas absorbs some energy. If it absorbs some energy, that particular wavelength of light is not passed through the prism. As it is not passed through the prism, we cannot see that light on the screen. So in the continuous wave, we have some dark bands. See, now we are making the concept more interesting. You should listen very carefully. So we don't know. We don't know where these bands are present because that depends on the type of gas. If I have oxygen, that will absorb specific kind of energy. If I take nitrogen, that will absorb different kind. So this, whatever energy absorbed by this, that will not be transmitted. So we have a band, we'll have a dark band corresponding to that. So these bands will depend on the type of gas what you have taken. These bands will depend on the type of gas what you have taken initially. So when you keep a gas in the path of the movement of white light, and that light is allowed to pass through the prism, normally dispersion of light occurs, and we will see a spectrum of radiation. This is known as a spectrum. This is known as a spectrograph or spectrum. But when you have a gas, what happens is, as gas absorbs sunlight, we will see some dark bands. Everything is colored, but there are some bands. There are some dark spaces in between the continuous color. Like in the rainbow, you have some dark lines, dark places. Yes or no? Are you understanding the concept or no? So this type of spectrum, which has some dark lines in between the continuous Vibgya is known as absorption spectrum because the gas absorbs some energy. This kind of radiation is known as absorption spectrum. You note down this with the graph. Yes, it is slightly discontinuous. And more, you say that this is a discontinuous spectrum, but you cannot say that absorption spectrum is discontinuous. You cannot generalize your statements. Amok says this spectrum has a boundary, so it might be discontinuous. Yes, that is true up to some extent. That is correct up to some extent. But it is purely dependent on type of gas what you have chosen. It is purely dependent on the type of gas what you have chosen. If I choose a gas which will not absorb, if I choose a gas which will not absorb the visible radiation, then there won't be any bands. Yes or no? So that is completely dependent on the gas what you are taking. If we choose a gas, if the gas is unable to absorb the visible radiation, we cannot have any dark bands. Understood or not? Good. So the absorption spectrum, it may be continuous or discontinuous. Maybe continuous. So this is known as, so first write down all the things, then I will write the definition of absorption spectrum. Are you people understanding the concept or not? Yes, line spectrum you can say obviously, because these are lines. Whatever you are observing, those are lines you can say. Line spectrum. The Amok says, can we say line spectrum? Yes, you can say that as a line spectrum because whatever you are seeing on the graph is dark lines. Yes, absorption spectrum, Sampath. So note down fast. You can't waste our time. Note down all the way. What about others? Shashank noted. I think there are two Shashanks. In bands or band spectrum, yes. Sampath, that's what absorption spectrum is a generalized term. This type of spectrum is known as absorption spectrum. And absorption spectrum may be continuous or discontinuous, or it may have bands. So let me arrange this. You can write a lot of things. This kind of spectrum, observed when white light is first passed through some gas, and then through prism is called absorption spectrum, and it can be, the absorption spectrum can be continuous or discontinuous or band. Can be continuous or discontinuous or band spectrum. As we are only seeing the lines, dark lines, we are everywhere we have color. We have color from this hand to this hand. Let us say everywhere we have color in this region, but meanwhile we have dark bands, dark lines. Okay, so we can also call it as a line spectrum. We can call it as line spectrum. Or dark lines are in between. Dark lines are present in between. These dark lines, now you understand. Now another important thing. These dark lines represent that energy associated with that wavelength, the energy associated with that part, is absorbed by the gas molecules. Up to now you have seen the one direction. Now come back in the reverse direction. Up to now you have seen the one direction, that is gas absorbing the energy, and whatever the absorbed energy that cannot transmit, so we have a dark lines in between the total spectrum. In the total spectrum we have some dark lines, right? So those dark lines corresponds to the energy which is absorbed by the gas molecule. This is one direction. When you come back in the reverse direction, if you start thinking reversely, why can't the gas molecule absorb all the energy? Are you understanding this or not? We are making it more interesting, that's it. Why can't the gas, whatever present in between, it can absorb all the energy? Why it can absorb only few part of energy? If it can absorb or emit all parts of energy, then whatever we have discussed in wave theory of electromagnetic radiation is true. Yes or no? So quantum theory of radiation has a proof from this. So this absorption spectra justifies quantum theory of radiation. In quantum theory of radiation we have studied, Max Planck said that the energy can be absorbed in the form of packets, only in the form of quantums. Yes or no? Either one packet of energy or two packets, one quantum or two quantum. In terms of quanta, that's it. So there is a proof for that. This stands as a proof. So gas molecule, whatever we have in between, the gas molecule, whatever we have in between, it cannot absorb all the wavelength, all the energy. It only absorbs specific parts of energy. It only absorbs specific parts of energy. That is, energy will be absorbed only in specific terms, that is only in terms of packets. So this acts as an indirect proof for the quantum theory of radiation. The spectrum The spectrum acts as an indirect proof for quantum theory of radiation. You understand it carefully right now. Okay? Don't try to think that you can read the concept from textbooks and understand from textbooks. You cannot understand from textbooks. So I have a question, I think. Yes, that's the next concept. Amok says specific atoms are related to the size of specific atoms are related to specific wavelengths, and that is why they observe only some wavelengths. That is not exactly correct, no. It is not the size of atom. It is a energy level gap. What actually matters is the energy level gap. One energy level to another energy level. What is that energy level? So electrons. So I say gas absorbs white light, absorbs some kind of energy. Gas absorbs energy in the sense what? What do you mean by that? The electrons inside the gas will take up the energy and move from lower excited state to higher excited state. So that is the next step. Don't worry. So you will understand that. So first, you can write this point. So if we think in opposite, if we think in the reverse direction, in the reverse way, that is why can't gas absorb all radiation, then we can get an idea. Then we get an idea. That each specific gas molecule absorbs only specific energy. That specific gas molecules absorb specific energy, so we observe specific wavelengths. Each wavelength is associated with energy. So whenever I say energy or whenever I say wavelength, it doesn't matter. It is the same. So specific gas molecule absorbs specific wavelength. That is, each molecule can absorb only some part of energy, some kind of energy. It cannot absorb all the radiation. So this indirectly, so I'm using the top diagram. So this absorption spectrum, this spectrum indirectly acts as a, this spectrum indirectly acts as a, indirectly justifies the quantum theory of radiation. So this is an indirect proof for quantum theory of radiation. Like some student, I think Sampath, I think, like 3-4 classes earlier, he asked, "Sir, how can you say that only some quantum of radiation will be absorbed? Why can't the total energy? Where is the proof for that, sir?" I think I have seen such kind of question in the comment section. So Sampath, you can get an idea. So this spectrum, from this spectrum, you can say that only some parts of energy will be absorbed, because the spectrum is an experimental thing. We are observing, we are doing the experiment, and we are seeing the result. That is how nature is made. That is how molecules are made. So this electromagnetic radiation, we are interacting with gas. That is nothing but spectroscopy. The study of interaction of you write down all this. We'll continue next. Note down all this. Done. Amulya, Rakshita, Shashank, Sampath, Rishikesh. You people understanding? If you do not understand, raise a question. If you understand, at least type no doubts. So our whole concept of discussion is to make you understand. Done? Good. Understood? Fine. So this is the statement. This spectrum justifies quantum theory of radiation, and this spectrum gives an indirect idea how atoms and molecules are made of. So what made us to study all these things? One single question: how electron is present inside an atom? That is a single question. To explain that, we are going to use all this concept. Quantum theory of radiation, everything is used in the board thing. Okay? So questions are very costly. Don't ask too many questions. Huh? So the next step, so when you observe in our experiment, we are treating in our experiment, we are inserting or we are studying the interaction of electromagnetic radiation, electromagnetic radiation with matter. Yes or no? We are first inserting white light on a gas made of some matter, gas molecules, maybe atoms also. It is made of some matter. Matter is anything which has some mass and occupies some space. So it can be treated as a matter. And we are inserting electromagnetic radiation. That's white light is a electromagnetic radiation. So it's a part of electromagnetic radiation. So that is nothing but interaction of what we have done is a study of interaction of electromagnetic radiation with matter. And this study is known as, in our experiment, we are studying the interaction of electromagnetic radiation with matter, which is also called as spectroscopy. Which is also called as spectroscopy. So this is all about absorption spectrum. The next one would be emission spectrum. So similar to absorption spectrum. So in the absorption spectrum, what we have said? In the absorption spectrum, we said that the gas molecules will absorb some energy. So what do you mean by that? So from the absorption of energy by gas molecules, we can say that energy is actually absorbed by the electron of particular gas. Because from Rutherford's experiment we know that electrons are revolving around the nucleus. We know that is true because Rutherford's all-for scattering experiments gives us how protons are present inside the atom. Protons and nucleus, protons and neutrons are present at the center of an atom, which is called as nucleus, and the size of nucleus is very small. When compared to the size of atom. That is known and that is true because alpha scattering experiment has given that result. So electrons are present inside an atom revolving the protons. That is true. Revolving the neutrons, revolving the nucleus. You can say not protons or neutrons. You can say combining nucleus. Electrons are present inside an atom revolving the nucleus. Electron can revolve in any orbit according to Rutherford's model. That is not true. So we need to do the modification. But electrons are present inside the atom revolving the nucleus. That is true. So whenever electron is present revolving around the nucleus, that electron will take the energy. Yes or no? So this is a nucleus. This is complete atom, and the electron is present somewhere here. And we are incidentally energy h mu, white light. So this energy h mu will be first interacted with the electron, not with the proton or neutron. Yes or no? That is how the structure of atom is. This electromagnetic radiation or white light. So this electromagnetic radiation or white light will be taken up by the electron. Not by the proton, not by the neutron. It's only taken up by the electron. It is because electron will be in the outermost shell. Electron will be closer towards the end of an atom. So whatever the energy coming towards the atom, that will be taken up by the electron. That's what we have written. So from the absorption of energy also, by gas molecules, we can say that energy is actually absorbed by the electron of a particular gas. Is that no? Now we'll modify our experiment. This is how the picture will be. So now we'll modify our experiment. So we keep the prism constant. We keep the screen constant. Screen must be is required always because we need to observe it. Our gas is constant. So instead of white light, what we are going to do is we give energy. Instead of white light, we are giving energies. We are either heating it, heat energy, or electric discharge. That is potential energy, whatever. Electric discharge. See, absorption and emission spectrum are very similar. So in the absorption spectrum, we see gas absorbed energy, and we never talk with respect to gas. We talk only with respect to the transmission of the remaining energy. Yes or no? We talk only with the transmission of remaining energy and what we see on the color. In the emission spectrum, we talk completely about the absorption of energy by gas. I'll give an example. Understand the example. So consider a bodybuilder. He will lift weights. So weights have high energy. So he want to lift the weight with his internal energy. He will lift that weight, heavy weights. He will hold it high on the top. Yes or no? He will hold it high. So initially, the weights have zero potential energy because they are on the ground. The heavy weight is on the ground initially, so it will have zero potential energy. So now the bodybuilder tries to use his internal energy. To lift the weights. He keeps a high position, that is higher energy, and he cannot keep that weight at high energy. So he immediately releases that weight again to lower energy. Because at higher energy, the system is not stable. Is that clear? Is this example clear or not? Clear or no? So now imagine there is an electron instead of bodybuilder. Now the same thing, the same bodybuilder lifting the weight, releasing the weight, everything is same, but instead of bodybuilder, I use the term electron. That's it. Instead of when I say bodybuilder, I said his internal energy. When I say electron, I am supplying external energy. So electron is present at one level, like this level. Electron is present at one level. Now I am giving energy. It may be either heat energy or electrical discharge or any other form of energy. I am giving some energy to the gas molecule. What do you mean by that? The energy what I have given to the gas, that is taken by the electron, not by the proton, not by the neutron. Because proton and neutron are very close, they are at the center of an atom. They do not interact with the energy directly. Electron will interact with the energy directly. So instead of bodybuilder, we are using the term electron. So electron takes up the energy. Bodybuilder uses internal energy to lift the weights. So now, noted, all these things are noted or not? I need to erase the top point. Note on faster, take a minute and everyone should note. So video is clear, video and audio, both are clear now. Noted, fine. So in the emission process, in the emission spectrum, we actually study emission of energy by the electron. So this is the electron at one energy level. Say its level is n is equals to 1. Energy electron is present in this level now. Here is electron. Electron I am representing by one arrow, half arrow. Electron is present in one level. Similarly with the whatever the weight is present in ground. Similarly bodybuilder lifting the weights are present in the ground. So now energy I have given, heat energy. So the electron, that is the weights, take up the internal energy of the bodybuilder and they will go to the higher state. They will go to the higher position. So the potential energy will be high. Here also similarly, the electron can take up this heat energy and go to the higher energy level. N is equals to 2. Let us say there is another energy level, higher energy level. So electron goes to the higher energy level. Same thing, weights. You can consider parallel with the weights. So when the electron goes to the higher energy level, when the weights are lifted at the top position, the weights have high potential energy, yes or no? Similarly with the electron, as the weights have high potential energy, the bodybuilder cannot withstand that weight at that position. So he immediately releases the weight. Similarly, the electron with high energy, N is equals to 2 is the higher energy state. With that high amount of energy, it cannot stay in that particular orbit, in that particular energy level. So it immediately, it wants to come out to the lower state. It wants to come out to the lower state. It again wants to come to the lower state. So if the energy, if the electron is coming from higher energy level to lower energy level, it should obviously release some energy. It should release some energy. It should release some energy. You can think of same with the weights. Weights, when I release from the top position, when they hit the ground, they will release sound energy. You can hear the sound. Yes or no? The potential energy which is present, that is converted to sound energy. Initially, internal energy of the bodybuilder is converted to potential energy of the weight. After that, potential energy of the weight is converted to sound energy what we hear. Everywhere there is energy conservation. Energy conservation. Are you understanding this or not? Initially, I have given heat energy. This electron can take up that energy, goes to the higher energy level. From this higher energy level, it comes. It is not stable here. You can write like this: electron is not stable at higher energy level. So it comes to the lower energy level. This is a lower energy level. So it comes to the lower energy level, releasing some energy. That energy will be in the form of light. That energy, whatever the energy released, that will be in the form of light. So how it is in the form of light? How you know? Because we observe the graph. We again have a screen, right? So when the electron is coming from higher energy level, write the notes parallelly, okay? Energy level to lower energy level. It will release some energy in the form of light. So whatever the light we observe, that will be glowed on the screen. What is the screen we have? Earlier we have screen, right? So we have some gas. Here we have gas, and we are given heat energy. So because of this heat energy, the gas molecule will absorb some energy. The gas molecule absorbs some energy. As soon as the gas molecule absorbs energy, the electron of the gas molecule will go to the higher energy level. It is not stable at the higher energy level, so it again comes to lower energy level. From higher energy to lower energy, when it is losing energy, it must lose some energy to come to the lower energy level. That energy lost should be in the form of light. That is what we observe in the experiment. The energy released should be in the form of light. So that light will be passed to prism. The same will be seen on the screen. So now on the screen, so earlier we have in the absorption spectrum, what do we have? We have continuous color from violet to red, and we have dark bands. But now we have everything dark. Everything is dark, but we only observe specific lights. So everything is dark here. So the dotted lines represent, because only some part of energy is absorbed, so only specific colors will be released. Each color, so how much energy is released? It should be equal to whatever the energy released, that should be equal to the difference in energy between these two levels. Yes or no? This has energy E1, this has energy E2. E2 is greater than E1. So E2 minus E1 will be the energy gap. Write on this. So the energy released, the emitted electron releases energy, which is exactly equal to the screen, which is exactly equal to the energy gap between two energy levels. We have level 1 and we have level 2. We have first floor and top floor, fourth floor, first and fourth. When the electron is coming from fourth floor to first floor, how many floors it has traveled? It came to 4 to 3, 3 to 2, and 2 to 1. Yes or no? Similarly, the electron coming from second floor to first floor, it has traveled one floor, so it should release that much amount of energy only. So whatever the energy released by the electron will be specific, will be fixed for a particular atom. Will be fixed for a particular atom. Whatever the gas we are taking, if it is hydrogen gas, this energy level difference is separate, and if it is oxygen gas, that will have a different energy level difference. Different energy level difference. It's not same for all the gases. It depends on gas to gas. It changes from gas to gas. So you can see this point. The emitted electron, whatever the electron emitted from higher energy level to lower energy level, as it comes from higher energy level to lower energy level, it will release some energy. That energy released will be associated with a particular wavelength. Whenever we say energy is released, that is associated with the wavelength E is equal to hc by lambda. So each wavelength is associated with a color. Whenever the electron is coming from higher energy to lower energy, it has some wavelength. It has wavelength means it is associated with some color. So some color will be observed on the screen. Some color will be observed on the screen, and the screen on total will be dark. Earlier in the absorption spectrum, we have colored from VIBGYOR to red color is present, and we have dark spaces in between. But now we have everything dark, but in between we have colored lines. That's all. Right on this? Understood or not? Among Sampath good. What about others? Noted or very good. So not only noting, you should understand what they got it or not. So everyone should be clear with the concept, then only you should know. So I cannot accept something, I cannot accept like you should note the things what I have written here without understanding. You should understand it first. Then only you should note it down. Okay? So we cannot have a good distinction here because we cannot have all the 7 color markers, but you can understand, like you can imagine all those things. That is why imagination is more important. Noted, right? Imagination is very important for a science student. So earlier we have on the graph, earlier we have color. So this dark part is color, and we have dark lines. Now what do we have? This is dark. What are the big lines are drawing is a color. This is color. This is also color. So what color it is? That depends on the type of gas. That depends on type of gas. Okay. Now earlier we have from VIBGYOR of colors. In the absorption spectrum we have VIBGYOR of colors, and in between we have dark lines. But in emission spectrum, we have everything dark, but in between we have colors like this. And all these colors are again lines in the form of lines. So this emission spectrum is also known as line spectrum. Right on this. Right on the point. So in emission spectrum, we have dark background in which colored lines would be present at specific points. See, note down this because I am saying color lines. I am not saying which color it is. I am saying specific point. At a particular point, you can see color, but I cannot say at which point you can see color because it depends from gas to gas. Okay, and the colors, all the colors appeared, and the corresponding wavelengths and the corresponding wavelengths will depend on the type of gas is it audible and visible now? Yes, right. So don't worry, there was a just power cut. So we're almost done for today. So it is visible now. So it must be clear. What Vagdevi? Fine? Okay, that's what. So in the emission spectrum, we have a dark background. Everything is dark here. Everything is dark here, like a black board, in which we have colors. But here everything is colored with GR. In the absorption spectrum, we have with GR. From this point to this point, everything is colored. Okay, and in between we have dark. These lines are dark. These lines are dark. So in the emission spectrum, we have a dark background in which colored lines will be present at specific points. All the colors appeared at the corresponding wavelengths will depend on the type of gas what we have taken. All the colors appeared, whatever color you see, and whatever at which point you have an absorption. So each point corresponds to a particular energy, both the same. Okay, so that depends on the type of gas. So tomorrow what we are going to do is, as each line is associated with a particular energy, yes or no? So this absorption of this color will be representing one energy, and another color will represent another energy. So each energy is associated with a particular wavelength. Each energy is corresponding to a particular wavelength. So we will see a relation between the wavelength and these energy levels. We have seen the relation, right? N1 is equal N1 and N2, two energy levels. So with the energy levels, there will be a distinguishing of color. Color can be distinguished based on that energy levels. So with that energy levels, we will see variation of wavelength. So how energy, that is how wavelength is dependent to those energy levels, that will be seen. That's a different approach. So we cannot start now. It's almost 8. So tomorrow we are going to see that. Okay. So this is all about emission and absorption spectrum. So any doubts up to now? No doubts, right, Amo? No doubts, good. So tomorrow we are going to see what wavelength is associated. We will see a mathematical relation and we can solve few problems on that. We will see a mathematical relation. We will solve few problems on that. So Vadev says, where you have now Vadev in the emission spectrum. So Sampath has color depending on the gas. Obviously Sampath, because energy levels, right? Color, how we are getting color? From lower energy to upper energy, electron is moving. From the upper energy, again electron is coming to the lower energy by releasing some light. So energy difference will depend on the gas, right? Energy difference will depend on the gas. Yes or no? So color must depend on the gas. Understood? Okay, tomorrow also we'll start with emission, with a brief introduction to emission. And then we can start the energy associated with it. Okay? Fine, thank you.